Hi guys, Dave in Texas here, and what you're looking at, yes of course, is an ES. Oh God. Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions, think that it broke, like most of them have. No, this one didn't break. This one was actually facing an open window in my office, and the window doesn't have a screen on it, okay? And Sugar Bridges, being the kind of nice and tidy person that she is, she was outside washing windows with a garden hose. And she took the hose and just flopped it around, kind of like this, and soaked this guitar from top to bottom. Just filled it with water, not paying attention, thinking she's hitting the window, but she's looking somewhere else as she splashed the water all over it. So anyway, I let it dry out as best I could, took things out and put stuff down in it to try to soak it up, and got the open air and a fan to it best I could. And it's left some water marks inside of it. But everything in it was damaged, okay? Even the pickups got water inside of those. How they did, I don't know. But they were no longer working. They wouldn't show any resistance at all. They were zero. And those were Gibsons, so that kind of upset me. But I didn't want to go out and buy another set of Gibsons, the exact same things, right? So I started thinking, now wait a minute, StewMac makes those Golden Age Parsons Streets, right? And they are excellent pickups if you want a 57, Gibson 57. They're the original PAF types, humbuckers that they did with the wooden spacers between the wiring and the body itself, nickel plate, right? Same bobbins, same everything as they used originally. I mean, the exact same stuff. Go online to StewMac, look up their Parsons Streets, and you'll see how they're made. Right, same type wiring, everything. Everything's exactly the same as they did back then, and they sound the same. They're excellent sounding pickups. Right, they're a little stronger. This is a 9.5. I think the originals were like 8s. But they were original. Sounding, and they sound great, inside these guitars, especially an ES type, right? Now, as you know, I've had no luck wiring up and pulling through potentiometers on a Gibson ES or ES, any type of ES model. Geez, they're nightmares, okay? There's no space to pull them through on the pickup holes. The only space, as you see, is that F hole right there, okay? Which I'm going to attempt to show you how I do this one this time, instead of saying, ta-da, it's done. I've done it before, gave up trying to use my hands, got in the way of everything. But this time I'm going to take the extra effort to show you what I'm doing, right, how I'm doing it. Now, the only thing different I want to try, and doing this particular guitar, and what I've done on hundreds of guitars before this one, is that, as you can see, this is the wiring that I'll use. It's a multi-strand wiring, right, that I use to connect the potentiometers with to make the final wiring, right? So I can get that in focus somehow. Anyway, as you can see, I've tinned the ends of these, right, as you normally do. And then I'd contact them to the pots themselves, okay? Let them be in contact with them. Everything falls over, of course. Be in contact where they need to be, for the wiring diagrams, right? And the only problem is, the only contact spot, unless I used a huge glob of solder, would be along that edge there. And I didn't ever use a lot of solder, but I got to a point where I was doing these ES, I was using more than I normally do. And I thought, surely this is going to work this time, because I've used more than the normal amount of solder to contact these things and make them stick, okay? I've etched the surface to give it more of something to adhere to, right? I've done everything you're supposed to do, except one thing I had not tried is to fray these wires like this. See that wire is frayed? Instead of twisting into a circle and having one little contact spot, I frayed it. And after testing this, this is a normal type of contact where you just do the twisted one, and this is the frayed one, right? And I had to break that thing way back at the back of it, right? to get it to break. Not just come off like it normally would. And this one just kind of pulled out and off. So it's like, damn, off this one pot, okay? And it took a lot more effort to get this off than it was to get this one off. Pulling it at the same time like this, okay? Both wires in between these knuckles and pulling. That one came off first compared to this one. Now, no, it wasn't scientific, guys, but just bear with me. It's pretty common sense. There'll be more contact spots with this frayed one, right, than there would be with that twisted one, okay? Now, that and that I'll be using the same type of wiring setup that StewMac recommends, which is, again, a little different than I normally do. But I think that it should work out pretty well, all right? And what I'll be doing is using this right here to do a separate tone and volume rather than a master tone and volume like this is set up to be. So you normally see like on StewMac or like Seymour Duncan, it's wired like this. I do it like this and you what? You get separate volume setup, right? Pretty nice, pretty cool. Makes it real easy to, you know, to adjust to what you want to do. Just like, you know, normal Gibsons, okay? But bear in mind, I'll be working on this over the next several days and putting up different videos as it goes along, all right? And I'll try to show you as best I can, get my big fat hands out of the way, so you get a chance to see exactly what it does take. And as I explained before, what I do, not on this one because it's closed, but as you can see, there's a split on all my potentiometers. I'll take that wiring from same wiring, and I'll run a long loop of wiring through this and wrap it back around this potentiometer's little gap right there, right? Then pull it through that little split, and I'll be pulling it up through like this, right? Like that. So it pulls directly on that very tip right there and pulls it up through the hole, okay? Very simple to do, and it works, okay? Instead of trying to use tubing and hold it on there, because these things have a very bad tendency to cross wires with each other and have one wire overloop the other, especially with the ground wires. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it takes a very specific circumstance, or no, not circumstance, it takes a very specific order in which to pull these in, right? First comes the jack, then of course these two on this side and this two on this side. Of course you got to remember these will be flipped, all right? They're upside down right now, so I can wire them simply or a little easier, okay? Anyway, I'm using, like I said, the Parsons Street Golden Age new ones, the new old Golden Age, on both pickups, okay? And they're very reasonably priced, $160 for a set of them compared to $320 for the Gibsons. And believe it or not, I think they sound better than the Gibsons do because they did stick with the old style of manufacturing them. And I don't have a picture of it, but do yourself a favor. If you're putting in new pickups and want that old style 57, 59 pickup sound from Gibsons, go to StewMac, look up Golden Street pickups, and look at the diagrams they have showing you how they were made, right? And if you've ever seen an original one, you'll see that, hey, they're building these just like they used to do. And there's no one uses wood spacers anymore. Most people don't use spacers at all in their pickups. But they did, and it did make a difference. It sure sounds much, much better. Anyway, that's about it for now. Next one will show you how I've soldered them all up, right? Let's see some soldering work done. And the one after that will be showing how to pull them all through, okay? Any questions, give me a holler. Dave in Texas. Bye.